Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC Stock not having a great day at all. Down about 4%. This should come to you as any kind of surprise. I've talked about this many times in the past. If you're a little bit confused why AMC Stock is down so much when the indexes are going higher, I'll break it down here in this video. I think most of you guys do understand, but we'll still get into it here in this video. I'll also go over all of the data you need to know in regards to AMC stock and potentially how long AMC stock could underperform. So hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. So first and foremost, again, AMC down over 4% today. It is a rough day out there for AMC stock. There is no doubt about it. Why is AMC down so much? Nvidia is up almost 15% today. The entire semiconductor space is not doing well, or is doing very well, causing other areas of our markets to do poorly. And this is really the correlation. Just simply put, you don't have inflows into our market, so money is not coming into our markets. So what's happening when Nvidia goes up? $250 billion of market cap value in a single day, what happens? Well, that money gets sucked from other areas of our markets. Tesla's been a big one. It's been getting squeezed of market cap as Nvidia has been going higher. AMC, other stocks as well. They're getting sold, and that money is going into Nvidia, whether it is shorts and short positions needing to post more collateral as Nvidia continues to go higher, or whether it is this reason or that reason. For whatever reason it is, what's happening is the same. Your middle quadrant, your lower quadrants of our markets are getting sold, and that money is going into the higher end quadrants of our markets. Nvidia, GPU names like an AMD, SMCI, and even your big tech, right? Your magnificent six, if you will, super six, whatever people are calling it these days. That is why AMC stock is down over 4% today. There is no other, reason why this is happening. You're not getting any bad news for AMC. That's it. Just as simply as that. That's why AMC stock is going lower today. And honestly, you can't even really gripe at Nvidia. Nvidia raised guidance about $2 billion more than Wall Street expected. Beat on everything, and Jensen Huang put together a fantastic earnings call. I mean, oh my gosh, it's almost sexy how he structures that earnings call. It's beautiful. Any question that is answered or asked is answered. And he even provides some longer term thinking on the business potential for Nvidia. I mean, hands down, top 5 best earnings calls I have ever seen before. And it really puts other companies to shame. Just seeing how that earnings call went and listening to that myself, it was like, wow. I don't even care if the stock's a bubble, right? GPUs are a bubble. We all know this. Eventually, one day, it's going to come crashing down. In reality, the gains are probably had at this point. But when you have an earnings call that good, yeah, nobody's going to be selling the stock on that. So, yeah, he even provided, like I said, long-term guidance, if you will. Jensen Huang said, fundamentally, the conditions are excellent for continued growth in 2025 and beyond. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang told analysts on Wednesday in an earnings call. He added that demand for Nvidia GPUs will remain high due to generative AI and an industry-wide shift away from central processors to the accelerators that Nvidia makes. I mean, everyone loves a stock when it's up 200%, right? Do I think it's a great time to be buying Nvidia? Absolutely not. I mean, one of the most crazy things, at least that I think, is Nvidia is the 3rd most valuable company in the world. Pretty soon it could be the 2nd most valuable company in the world if it continues higher. But if you go ask people out on the street or your family or your friends, like, what is Nvidia? Most of them, like 95% of them, are going to have No idea unless they are gamers, and they're gonna say they make graphics cards for my computer. Like most people don't understand what Nvidia is, what they do. They've never interacted with their products that they know of, which is just something I find very anecdotally interesting. Because if you ask anyone what Microsoft or Google or Apple or even Tesla, some of these other large companies, if you ask them what are they, have you heard of them? Of course they're going to say yeah, but Nvidia definitely a little bit different. So yeah, that's what's going on with AMC in a nutshell today. As far as when this will improve, I will tell you Nvidia tends to sell off 4 to 8 weeks following earnings. It tends to go through a sell-off period. Now, this is the first time Nvidia has gapped up like this in a long time. And that's because Nvidia sold off like 10% heading into their earnings. So it's not that impressive considering you did fall a lot. If you hadn't fallen a lot, then this would have been like a 4% move higher, right? So it's hard to say if you're still going to get that sell-off again. I think inevitably you will, just because where the markets are at, we're not priced for a recession or a possible, downturn in the economy. There's other things that are going on, not specific with Nvidia, but I don't necessarily think you're going to see this broad shift away from Nvidia anytime soon. Question really becomes, do we see money come back into our markets? Because that's the dynamic here. Nvidia could be powering everything higher right now. It's not, because there's limited capital in our markets, right? If there was more capital in our markets, maybe AMC would be green right now. Maybe other stocks would be doing well right now. But that's not exactly the case. Now, we know there's $6.2 trillion in money market funds. That's important to keep an eye on, and eventually that money will come back into our markets, and eventually that will be good for the broad markets. But I'm not going to sit here and forecast that's going to happen anytime soon. Now, specifically when AMC will start to do better is probably next week on AMC's earnings. We're expecting to get some good information, but I'll talk about that more in the next video. If we take a look at Ortex today, you have 12.22% short interest of free float, $139.91 million worth of short positions, days to cover 1.82, 30.61 million shares that are currently sold short, shares out on loan 32.65 million, cost to borrow 1.02%, utilization of 49.6%, and a short score of 64.05 out of 100. If you take a look, let's see, cost to borrow fees also at about 1.2%, so nothing too crazy there. Option activity from hedge funds and institutions today, definitely on the negative side. You had 3 orders totaling $91.35 thousand with a positive order value of 0%. So not a whole lot of good things happening here in the options market today, which is actually interesting because retail investors are indeed buying a lot of call options today in AMC. You have calls at 86.78%. As far as total volume, and puts at 13.22%. And I do think if you wanted to trade AMC earnings coming next week, today is probably not a terrible time to get into a position into AMC, whether it is shares or with some call options. So I'll let you guys know if I plan to do that in the next video as well. Hell, I might share the trade with you also. So stay tuned to the channel for the next video. Nonetheless, if we look at AMC here on StockTwits, the sentiment barometer is neutral today at 47. Yesterday, it was neutral at 52. So a little bit less, positive sentiment there, but still not too bad. You're still not in bearish. Message volume is higher than yesterday. Yesterday you were at 48. Today you are at 52. And the participation ratio is normal today at 54. This has been on the higher side lately, so that's actually been really, really good, right? You want to see participation ratio as high as possible. That means more people are talking about AMC, and you can never complain with that. Now, again, if you take a look at the indexes, it's pretty clear to see here. The NASDAQ is up 2.64%. A lot of the NASDAQs move higher today. a majority of it is just in your semiconductor, AI, big tech names. You're still not seeing that much broad-based participation here, but you are seeing your Russell 2000 up 0.88%. A lot of that has to do with SMCI. SMCI is up almost 32% today, and SMCI is the largest component of the Russell 2000. So if SMCI is up 32%, that's adding a good percentage just to the Russell 2000 alone. So yeah, that's probably explaining a lot of that Russell 2000 index move that we are seeing today. Yep, Russell up 0.90. The Dow is up pretty much the same as well. The Dow is up 0.89%, and the S&P is up 1.86%. So decent day across the board if you're looking at the indexes, but if you're in something like an AMC, then you understand this is definitely not a fantastic day out there. Another big story of the day today is AT&T cellular outage in the United States disrupts vital services. It's kind of strange. Nobody knows what is happening. That's just kind of an overall strange thing. Nobody knows why this is happening with AT&T, or why this is happening with other phone providers as well. Anyone that uses really AT&T towers. This is from San Francisco about the cell phone service outage. But also, I mean, I live in Michigan, so almost, completely across the country. And everyone I know with AT&T phone service does not have service also. So very strange. Maybe a cyber attack is what I've heard. But we're not getting any details on that. Solar flare, cyber attack, one of those two things would have to be it, right? Who knows? Let me know your speculation down below in the comment section. Nonetheless, if we look at the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average today, as I said, if you're looking at the cumulative just stocks, right, the total, they're really not moving too much today. The percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average is actually down about 0.12% to 50.38%. So that's kind of strange to see the NASDAQ up over 2.5%, but the average stock is actually not doing anything at all. Kind of a weird market that we're in, to say the very least. We do have some earnings today in after hours with Block, Carvana, Mercado Libre, New, Delix. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Booking Holdings, Intuit, Indie, Vail, and Live Nation that will report earnings. And then Friday pre-market, you're going to have Warner Bros. Discovery, Lamar, and some other names, but Warner Bros. Is definitely your biggest one out of the bunch. If you look at the Stocko tracker data, you do have about 7,700 calls currently in the money, 77,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at 12,525. Out the money puts at about 19,466. So yeah, there's a lot more call activity. We'll see. Anything can happen tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a give back in some of your AI stocks tomorrow, and maybe a little bit of a catch up in some of these other names, maybe like an AMC, but I wouldn't hold your breath. That's just something that possibly could happen. Nonetheless, on a technical basis with AMC, RSI at 44.76, and the MACD is still pretty good, trying to trade trend positive here. So we'll see what happens there. Overall, not a fantastic day for AMC. AMC stock is currently at $4.39 per share. I do think inevitably we will hit that 50-day moving average at about $5.06 per share, but I don't know when exactly that is going to happen. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.